Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Erik Voss, and this is a breakdown of everything you might have missed in the trailer for She-Hulk, with Tatiana Maslany playing Jennifer Walters, high-powered attorney, cousin to Bruce Banner, and soon to be the face of a new trend of athletic wear. She-Hulk is one of the funniest and coolest characters in the Marvel Comics, fully self-aware of her own bonkers existence, while whipping that sharp legal intellect at everyone from the Avengers to the TVA, and sometimes in the offensive arrows, but never mind that, because I'm gonna go frame by frame to break down all the Easter eggs you might have missed, and let's get started.
I'm Jennifer Walters. I'm a normal lawyer. Well, not that normal.
So we open on Tatiana Maslany as Jennifer Walters doing yoga in her neat IKEA home, one that you know is just gonna get wrecked when she hulks out. Maslany earned praise for her role on Orphan Black, playing several amazing distinct identities, a skill that will serve her well on this series when she plays both Jen and her larger-than-life alter ego, an ego that won't be monstrous and aggro, but brash and confident, still in control. In the comics, Jen was Bruce Banner's cousin who prosecutes criminals who end up trying to kill her, leaving it to Bruce to give her a blood transfusion that ends up powering her up into She-Hulk. But unlike Bruce in the comics, she reaches a stasis with her hulked out form, choosing to stay green all of the time. Here, as an attorney, she wears a plum-colored shirt, the way Bruce Banner in the MCU often is shown wearing purple, Hulk's classic pants color. But very briefly, we see her hulked out form, wearing white, purple, and black attire, similar to her outfit in the comics, and I love it, cross trainers. Her athletic shape here is somewhat inflated, but not too much so, keeping our eyes focused on her personality. I know, it feels a bit gross to be talking so much about her form, but keep in mind, that is a conversation about She-Hulk, whether you like it or not. And these are all freakish, fantastical characters. And if you've been watching New Rockstars, you know I've spent more time on the channel obsessing over the physiques of Hulk and Thor, all their gutters. So now that we have talked about it, we can put that to bed and move on and talk about her hair. Because Tatiana Maslany was given curls in this show, which at first I thought, is that really just so that she looked more like Mark Ruffalo? But no, it was added to contrast She-Hulk's wild mane of dark green hair. We focus on all these features, but we do not yet see the character's face, which I think is so smart for this teaser because they're probably still working on the VFX there, and whenever you first show a VFX constructed character, revealing the face is often where you risk losing viewers in that uncanny valley, right? This way, it just keeps fans guessing and lets fans know that this isn't gonna shy away from the She-Hulk we know from the comics. On to the next clip.
These transformations are triggered by anger and fear.
Don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Nice, so Mark Ruffalo returns in this series, but we see him here in his smart Hulk form from Avengers Endgame, rocking the hoodie, gym shorts, and bare feet that those of us from Florida call winter chic. Meanwhile, Jen is wearing baggy clothes, clearly expecting to bulk out here, or what those of us from Florida who relocated to California call 2020 chic. I guess we don't leave our homes. So this must be Banner's Gamma Lab that he referred to in Endgame when he explained how he got this way.
18 months in the Gamma Lab. I put the brains and the brawn together. And now look at me.
And I love this detail. You can tell this lab was designed for powerful gamma radiation because all the walls appear to be carved into thick stone, maybe concrete lined with lead. Now, Abomination, Emil Blonsky, Tim Roth will return in this series after his crazy cameo fighting Wang in Shang-Chi. Actually, the cell he returns to through Wang's portal looks a bit like Hulk's gamma cell here. Maybe Blonsky was being kept in this lab as Banner worked to depower him. Now, in Endgame, Banner never went into further detail as to how exactly he reached the stasis that allowed him to stay permanently in Hulk form while retaining his Banner intellect, but this is exactly the type of balance that She-Hulk normally has, so the MCU may be using that twist from Endgame to justify why She-Hulk is the way that she is. Now, this scene could be taking place after a transfusion that would have briefly caused Jen to chaotically Hulk out, and now Bruce is trying to help her reach that balance he has discovered with just the right cocktail of gamma radiation. Or it could just be that there's something in the Banner family blood that gets triggered by gamma radiation this way. Notice how on his screens, the bottom one shows Jen and her biostats, whereas the top one seems to be showing his own, so right now Banner could be calibrating the radiation to the level that he used on himself. Notice here that Jen wears a helmet that seems to be wired in from above. This actually could be how Bruce irradiated himself with gamma while leaving his mind unaffected, by using a helmet that blocks out the gamma from making his brain stupid. Now, here at New Rockstars, our sharp wit and keen eyes can cut through the web of information out there to give you the top-notch content you came here for. But to cut through food, you need Kamikoto knives. Kamikoto makes great Japanese steel kitchen knives using traditional techniques from Japan. Their knives are used by Michelin star restaurants around the world. They only use premium steel sourced from the mills in Japan, and each Kamikoto knife is individually inspected after a 19-step process, which makes them so confident in their knives that each one comes with a lifetime guarantee. Each knife comes in this beautiful ashwood box that keeps the knife stored safely and makes a Kamikoto knife a great looking gift. They offer a wide range of Japanese steel knives, from the 8.5-inch slicing knife down to a 5-inch blade better suited for smaller fruits or veggies and cutting stuff in a crowded elevator without stabbing your neighbor. I wouldn't recommend it, but you know, options. I grabbed a Nakiri knife and it feels incredible in my hand. It just looks really cool and it feels well balanced and super functional. It's got me ready for dicing and chopping. Kamikoto has an early Black Friday sale going on, and on top of their offers, Kamikoto is offering our viewers an extra $50 off any purchase with discount code ROCKSTARS. So head to kamikoto.com/rockstars. Banner says that these transformations are triggered by anger and fear, which could also mean that maybe his Zen-like mastery over his emotions played a pretty big role in his successful fusion of his forms. But ultimately, we know that Banner reverts to his human form at some point after the events of Endgame, based on his arm still in the sling as it was at the end of Endgame when he meets with Shang-Chi, Katie, Wang, and Carol Danvers in the Shang-Chi post-credit scene. So maybe Banner had to return to human form in order to be able to give blood to his cousin, because think about it, as Smart Hulk, no transfusion needle would have been able to penetrate his skin, and then maybe what we see in Shang-Chi was just him during that temporary power down. Jen quotes Bruce Banner's classic line,
You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
Mr. McGee, don't make me angry. You wouldn't like me when I'm angry.
and Bruce is now in human form like he appeared in that Shang-Chi post-credit scene, but something odd is going on here. Bruce's arm is not in the sling as it was in the Shang-Chi scene. His hair is not nearly as gray, and both he and Jen look like they're wearing late 70s or early 80s attire, specifically Bill Bixby's attire as David Banner in the 1978 Incredible Hulk series. Also, you'll notice the focus is soft, like we're watching this on an old TV set, and yeah, it's pretty weird to see her break the fourth wall and look directly into camera to deliver the catchphrase. It's almost as if we are watching an episode of WandaVision. Are these two in a reality warped by Wanda Maximoff during the events of WandaVision? Who knows how far Wanda's hex expanded at the end of episode 6. Hulk's Gamma Lab could be near Westview, New Jersey, like at Camp Lehigh in New Jersey, and maybe they got caught in that TV reality warp, making them look like, ironically, the 1978 Hulk TV show, which the MCU has already referenced, specifically in the Ed Norton film, with the return address on the package he sent to Liv Tyler, referencing David Banner and the fact that they sampled the music from that show. Now, if not a WandaVision crossover, this could just be an example of how the She-Hulk series will playfully break the fourth wall in its own way, perhaps with Jen's imagination taking her to these silly cutaways. I mean, the series is a legal comedy, something I imagine to be in the vein of Ally McBeal, which would also engage in these fantastical interludes. And hey, co-starred Iron Man! Remember that, when he used to be in other things? And that procedural tone is, I think, the reason behind the new She-Hulk title logo, which I gotta admit, I'm not a huge fan of. I much prefer the original one, and it has this city backdrop, as we often see in legal shows. By the way, this is the city of Los Angeles. I know that light pollution and smog anywhere suggesting this series might have the snappier and more glamorous LA vibe that we haven't really seen in the MCU since the Iron Man movies. You'll also see that glamour in the brief shot later in the reel, showing Jen flashing some Angelina leg as she steps out of a car at a fancy red carpet event. But also, while you scrub through this reel, there is one totally inexplicable shot that seems to show Tatiana Maslany screaming as she gets dragged into a cave. This looks horrifying. Something more out of Moon Knight than She-Hulk, I would imagine. But maybe another representation of Jen's inner fantasies or inner fears as she wrestles with her inner demons to conquer her fear and master her outer form. Could also be part of a fight with the villain of this series, Titania, Mary McFerrin, played by Jamila Jamil. As someone who has always loved She-Hulk's sense of humor and the way she kind of laughed at herself and was able to poke fun at the Marvel comics, I'm just so excited for this series. And Tatiana Maslany is gonna do such a good job as a new leader of the Avengers, perhaps, or at least just a brilliant legal mind to debate the likes of the TVA or the Living Tribunal or whoever is gonna prosecute Peter Parker. Get this woman in the MCU right away. To support this channel, check out one of our great merch options at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter at EA Voss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars for analysis and breakdowns of everything Marvel. Thanks for watching. This is my 7th video I shot today. I'm so tired, but we did it.